Hello, I'm Timothy Alexander White, your host and master of ceremony for Blue World Travel's 33rd anniversary of Festival at Sea. And I have the pleasure tonight of speaking with the one and only young man who was discovered, and I said discovered, about 21 years ago. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Ruben Studdard.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing quite well.
Good, good.
Yes,
you
sir.
heard in my introduction, I said discovered. Now,
Yes, sir.
when I was coming up and years ago, people who wanted to sing, they wanted to get discovered.
Yes, sir.
You were discovered.
I think that American Idol afforded me the opportunity to do a job that I wanted to have since I was 5 years old.
I was going to ask how old you were when you first had these dreams.
And you know, it's pretty difficult, if you know, being from the southern region of the United States, to find places that cultivate talent like the Motowns, the people in LA. So American Idol was a perfect opportunity for me to have an opportunity to have somebody that was serious listen to my talent.
I see. So you were 5 years old when this thing of music first entered into your bloodstream, if you will?
It absolutely was. I was in preschool. I remember I sung my first solo right before kindergarten, and I knew then when people reacted to the way I sounded, it was something that I wanted to do now. It took me a while to be really comfortable being in front of a really large audience, but I think after maybe middle school when I did a couple of talent shows, I knew that this was the thing I was
Was there anybody that influenced you? Any other singer or performer that you liked, that you fell in love with, and sort of,
well, you know,
of course.
I grew up in the church. I'm from the South, and most of the singers that influenced me were gospel artists, people like Fred Hammond. He at the time was in a group called Commission, the Whiners, of course.
Yes.
You know, people like Daryl Coley. But you know, also the groups that were popular at the time, like New Edition and Bobby Brown. All those people, like, you know, had a profound impact on me. And if anything ever came to Birmingham, there was a concert, you know, my mom said she was always prepared to spend some money because she knew that's something that I love to do.
Were you in talent shows?
Several talent shows, and we would have those often around Birmingham. And I say that is something that I think is sometimes missing, not just in Birmingham, but all over. They don't, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, talent shows were a big thing. And I think that, you know, that was the reason, that was the thing that got me comfortable with being on stage.
And what are some of your favorite places to have performed thus far?
I've performed at so many places, but I would say one of my most memorable performances was when I had the opportunity to be on stage with Miss Natalie Cole. She was just such a class act, and I learned so much by being on the road with her and having the opportunity to sing next to her. So I would have to say that was one of my most memorable moments.
You know, being a singer can open up a lot of doors. I know you're not just a singer, but you also have some acting ability. You played Fats Waller in the play, what was it, Ain't Misbehaving?
Ain't Misbehaving, yes. You know, in college I was a music education major, and of course we had to do some musical theater things while in school. And you know, the one thing that's great about going to a HBCU is that, you know, performance is all encompassing. So you have an opportunity to kind of dip your toe in a lot of different spaces. So I was in a few plays, and that opportunity presented itself, and it was a challenge for me, you know, specifically because I wasn't used to doing 8 shows a week, and that's something that, you know, hats off to all the people that do Broadway each and every year of their life, because it's really a grind. But I'm thankful that I got the opportunity.
So some of us know, I know, that you were nominated for a Grammy back in the day for the song Superstar,
That's
which
correct.
was a song that Luther Vandross put on the map. And I know that your show is titled Ruben Sings or Performs Luther.
That's correct.
He has had to be a great influence upon you, at least his music, his style, his
My
flavor.
mother was, I would say, the biggest Luther Vandross fan in the world. And I'm sure there were more people that were like my mom, but I grew up in the house with her. So I just remember how much in love her and her friends were with his music. And I had that opportunity to just sit, you know, next to the record player and learn his music. And now that I have an opportunity to perform it, I think back on those days when my mom was in the kitchen cooking or cleaning up and she was listening to his music, and all that stuff comes to my memory.
You know, when you perform tonight, it's going to be a lot of, they're waiting on you, man. They just want to hear you. If you could collaborate with someone, past or present, who would it be?
If I could collaborate with somebody past or present, I would have to say Luther Vandross. I never got the opportunity to meet him personally, and I'm sure the stories that he had from his journey in the music industry would be just enough for me to have the opportunity to sit down with him and talk.
What's on your playlist right now?
On my playlist right now, man, I would say Robert Glasper, Eric Roberson, October London.
All right,
who
he was here.
Yeah,
He was here,
he's
yeah.
you know, he's an amazing artist, and you know, also the old greats, Al Green, Marvin Gaye. You know, I'm always listening to some
Talking
good
about
music.
my kind of people now, man.
Yes, sir.
So where would you like to be in, say, 5 years from now with your career? More acting, more singing, teaching maybe, more writing?
I want to do whatever God has for me. I'm open to
Okay.
all the opportunities. You know, a lot of times, you know, we put things out in the universe that are kind of limited, and I just want to be open to whatever opportunities come my way.
All right, okay. I have one more question. You know, this comes up in a lot of interviews. What about the young people coming up? Because you are a big influence on people. You know, the way you carry yourself. There's no bad news out there about Ruben Studdard. So what about the young people coming up? We see a lot of young talent singing, want to sing. What would you tell them? Because the music business
Yes, sir.
is an industry, and there's a lot of ups and downs. But what would you give advice to on that?
The one thing I heard when I was about maybe 10 or 11 years old, an actor from Birmingham, Alabama came to my elementary school and he did a speak about his career. And he wasn't, you know, famous, but he had a lot of roles, small parts, and, you know, a lot of nationally syndicated television shows. And he said, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
All right.
And so from that point on, I just decided that this is what I was going to do. I love music. I love singing. And, you know, there have been some grueling times, but I've never regretted a moment of the time that I spent doing this job. So I love it.
All right, brother. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you so much for taking the opportunity
Yes,
to
sir.
talk with us. We love you, man, and we're going to continue to follow you. And if
Yes,
you
sir.
want to tell people how they can follow you, just give your Instagram or your.
I'm on Instagram, Real Ruben Studdard, Facebook, Ruben Studdard, and that's it. That's where I'm
Okay.
at RubenStuddard.com, and you know, just the regular stuff.
All right. Well, if you need a new backup singer, just let me know.
All right,
And I'll see what I can do.
we'll see what you got tonight.
All right. Thank you, Ruben,
Yes,
for being
sir.
with us, man. I
No
appreciate
problem.
you,
Thank
man.
you for having me,
so
brother.
much, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm Timothy Alexander White, along with Ruben Studdard here on the Festival at Sea. This is Blue Tube Television. Thank you so much for watching.